G'day, Goldson back with another adventure. Today got a very cool video for you, and probably the most anticipated video of all the series, and the last video of the Old Army Profession setup. So let's get started. Alright, so Alchemy Old Army setup. This will be the ultimate guide, and hopefully the goal of it is for you to understand what I'm going to do with my alchemy alts as I'm maining them. So alchemy and tailoring, I'm going to have the most of them. And hopefully by the end of this video, you're going to figure out exactly why I'm doing it. So let's get into it. Okay, so I've broken it down because everyone's freaking out. And because alchemy is the most complex to understand out of all of it. Most of the other professions are quite simple, like, you know, craft this, but like with the new Thaumaturgy, that's probably the newest addition to the professions for alchemy, at least. So we got like Thaumaturgy, transmutations, you know, all this kind of stuff, and we got concentration on top of that. So it's like, well, so if you can see here, we got phase. We're just going to focus on phase one. We'll go through it quickly. So phase one is set up your alts to craft Blasphemite, and then in phase two, we're going to add in the daily Transmute for more Blasphemites, and then in the last phase, which is the end game, is the ability to convert materials into rank 3 reagents. All right, so we'll just go slow, and then by the end we'll sort of know what we're talking about. All right, so yeah, just so you know, in total it's 230 knowledge points. Goal of the build in phase one is to give you the ability to log in daily and to be efficient with producing Blasphemite. So I've worked out roughly on average every 4 days you can create a Blasphemite per alt at the start, and you can see here this highlighted. Your first act of Thaumaturgy each day yields a significant amount of extra transmutagen. Now, you might not understand what that is, but we're going to go through it in the next couple of slides and we'll explain more about it. All right, so let's say that let's got here the daily ritual, you know, because it's going to be a ritual for sure. Logging into 92 plus alts a day just to get this stuff, but like this is what you got to do to be efficient, right? So it says, I put in here, well, use the cheapest reagents daily to get the bonus Gleaming Transmutagen, right? And so to create these Blasphemites, you need Gleaming Transmutagen, 80 of it to be exact. And you see here, I've done a first Thaumaturgy craft. See in the picture here, I've just chucked in a bit of Mycobloom, rank 2, whatever's the cheapest, right? Doesn't matter. The cheapest materials are the better, because it means the cost of your Blasphemite's going to come down a lot. So you don't want to be using expensive shit to make this. You want it the cheapest as possible. That's what you want to do. And so Mycobloom over here turned into Storm Dust, Weaver Cloth, and this ominous Transmutagen, which is the new stuff. Don't be scared of it. And then you got the rare one, the Gleaming, and you get a big bonus to it the first craft every day. That's why you got to log in daily, because you get that first craft bonus. All right, let's talk about Thaumaturgy, which is the new addition to transmuting for alchemists. So here I've put a list of all the reagents that we can convert. So just look at this list for a second. So you got Thaumaturgy. There's 12 items in Thaumaturgy that you can convert, I guess. Like, think of Thaumaturgy as like a convert mechanic. And you see you got the red one here, which is the ominous, and then you got the grey one, the mercurial, then you got the green one, which is your volatile. So these are all these have like a little family. So the red one, the ominous one, that's the ominous transmutagen. Think of the transmutagen as like a gel that you can convert into like anything, but in this case we're converting it into either bismuth, storm dust, Mycobloom, or weaver cloth. And then for the mercurial one, that it transforms into gloom chitin, lure drop, orbanite, or acarite. And with the volatile, it can transform into storm charged leather, Arathor's spear, iron claw ore, blessing blossom. So depending on, like, when we get to the phase 3 endgame, we start talking about it a bit more. Well, this will become more apparent. So just so you know, so just to recap, the transmutagen, there's 3 of them, and they're paired into family. So hopefully this illustrates the groups a bit easier, and make you understand a bit easier. So that's all. It's all about understanding and learning. Once you understand it and learn something, which goes for any skill in life, really, you're not gonna be phased. But when you don't know about it, that's where the fear comes in. You're like, oh, I'm not sure. What do I do? But like once you learn something, it's much easier. Okay, so Thaumaturgy, we're gonna educate a bit more on it because it is important. It is the whole emphasis of alchemists in like specializing in Thaumaturgy now. Transmutation is another word for it. But so every time you use Thaumaturgy, it's like it says attempt to chuck in 20 materials of your choosing. So out of that list of 12, this may yield discoveries, but it's highly destructive. All right, so like, okay, so we got to chuck in 20, and then the end result is whatever pairing you got, and you're going to get this byproduct, this mercurial transmutagen, or just transmutagen in general. There's 3 of them, and all you got to figure out is that the transmutagen is a byproduct of using Thaumaturgy. So every time you click this button, you're going to get a byproduct, and it depends which item you use because of that family, and that's what you're going to get here. So transmutagen, the terminology is a bit hard to get your head around, but transmutagen equals extra reagents. So this is for endgame. When we're at the max level, we can talk about it more, but just so you know, transmutagen is a byproduct of Thaumaturgy. Okay, Blasphemite, let's talk about it, quick. Why do we need it? Like, well, if you remember from Dragonflight, we had to prospect the ore to get the limited diamonds, and that was rank 1, 2, and 3. But now in the War Within, they're making the gem, their elusive gem, only obtainable by alchemists, which is pretty cool. Like that gives alchemists like a big job to supply the market, like, because everyone's going to be wanting this stuff. Because you see here, the crafted neck, you need one. You got the crafted ring. You need one. There's to add one socket to a ring or neck, you need this magnificent jeweler's setting. So that's going to be a popular item. You got these primary stat unique gems that give, like, this one gives primary stat and maximum mana. Other one gives critical effects. So like pretty much everyone who plays the game is going to want one of these. Minimum. Just one. So, and if it takes, 4 days to make one at the start, what's that mean? High demand, supply means high prices. So that's why we're setting up the alt army to make these efficiently. And the more people that get onto this with their alts, use your remix alts, whatever, get into it. Doesn't matter, but it's that daily login. Like it's not going to take much time, especially if you got like a list, and then you just log in, do your daily Thaumaturgy, and then every 4th day create a Blasphemite, sell it. All right, so let's talk about leveling up, because we got to level up. We might as well level up, right? Because our end goal is max. So it's optional, but you can buy your profession tools off the auction house. Up to you. I'll probably buy it too, but it's not really necessary until end game. You want to buy these reagents here, so I'll leave the leveling list and the path in the description, and I'll keep that updated. I'm pretty sure it's not going to change because it's like less than 6 days until early access, so it's pretty much set in stone. So off you go. So this one doesn't really require much. It's got Mycobloom, Gilded Vials, Arathor's Spear, and then the vendor reagent and 1 Writhing Sample, and this will get you up to like 65. Pretty nuts. So pretty easy to step into it. I think they've made the entry barrier into this is quite simple and not too expensive, but obviously the grind and the patience required to get to the end is where it's going to hurt a lot of people, but not me. I'm going to stay through it all. All right, so step 3, you want to craft the first thing, craft 1 healing potion, just 1, because like in my guide, I'm a cool Tyrian, so I get +2. So crafting 1 of these puts me up to skill 5, which then I can buy the bubbling Mycobloom culture, and I craft that, and then I just craft another 29 healing potions. You could just raw dog and go just craft 30 straight up to you, but I don't know, I just added this in because it's a good skill point, and yeah. That's what I'm going to do. And then you want to neutralize all those healing potions, right? Okay, so once you've neutralized all those healing potions and you've got a bunch of core-way catalysts sitting in your bag, we need that for experimentation later on. So you want to learn Petal Powder, which is I think it's a finishing reagent. Not exactly sure what it does, but I think, yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to guess. But you want to craft this until you're skill 35. So you got enough materials in that list to craft 8 or 10, but basically you just craft it until you hit 35. And as soon as you hit 35, stop. So stop at 35 skill level. Pretty easy step. And then the next step is to use the wild experimentation, and you got enough to do 10 of them, and you do that until you learn the meticulous experimentation. So just experiment randomly until all you're trying to do is find the meticulous experimentation recipe. And once you got that, we can go next step. Okay, next step, which is your daily login you have a daily login required until skill 65. You can see here we've got day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6. So if you want to be optimal, you would do this every day, and like within the first week, by the end of the first week, reset really would be, you would be 65 on your alchemist. And you can see here we log in, it's once a day because it's 24-hour cooldown. Once you use it, you can't do it again for another 24 hours. So you got to keep on top of this until you get to 65 on all your, and it stops giving 5 skill at 65. So each one of these is 5 skill. So it's the most efficient form of leveling up. So 5, 10, 15, 20, there's like 30 points here. So that will get you to 65 skill, or in my case 66. 65, 66 doesn't matter. All right, so how to be efficient. You want to log in daily. All right, purchase the cheap materials. So you want to determine which ones you want to transmute, or in this case it's Thaumaturgy. So log in daily to do your daily Thaumaturgy. You want to buy the cheap materials for all your alts, so buy enough. So it's 20 materials per craft. So if you got 10, you buy 200 of the cheapest mat, and then chuck it in your war bank, and then log into your account, use Thaumaturgy on the mats, and then you'll get the gleaming, and then log off, and then go onto your other alt, and then do it again. Just cycle all your alts until all your daily is complete. But there's a big caveat here. You don't want to start doing this until you got 55 knowledge points here, because you can't get the bonus gleaming without it. Okay, so this is the phase 1 build. So phase 1, I'm not going to move to phase 2 until I got all my alts phase 1, and I'm slowly chipping away at making Blasphemite. So that requires 65 skill. Well, it doesn't really require skill, but it's a good skill to get up to. So it's sort of high enough to like not worry about it too much. You got common tools, very helpful, and you want double ingenuity. If you want to enchant it, go for it. But like ingenuity is your king for Thaumaturgy, because if you look on the screen here, you only get ingenuity. There's no resourcefulness. There's no multi-craft. Ingenuity. So ingenuity all the way. Okay. So and the full build is 75 knowledge points. So you need to add another 20 here at the bottom, which will learn Gleaming Glory. This recipe, like you put 20 points in here, you get to learn Gleaming Glory, which allows you to make the, make the Blasphemites. So like it's 75 points before you even get to start making these things. But when you get 55, you can start making like the daily login to get the gleaming. So by the time you unlock the 75th point, you probably have enough to make a few in one go. So that's going to be a big dump on the market. So big wary for that one. But oh yeah. So to just add in, I'm just going to show you that process, phase 1 process on the beta. Right now the beta's down, so I can't record, but I'll cut to it so you can see the practical setup for phase 1, and then once that's done, we're going to move to phase 2 theory, and then the phase 2 practical, and then phase 3 theory, phase 3 practical, kind of like that. So like we have a bit of a split between the guide, like we have a theory, practical, and then we move on for that, and then it gives you time to pause the video and have go and have a smoke, whatever. I don't care. But it's all about retention. If I bombard you too much with information, you're going to be like fried. So just all right. We're on the beta, and we're going to test phase 1 leveling. So I'm going to quickly go and buy out the materials that we need, and then I'll just cut to that. Oh, it's starting to rain. Goody. Jeez, it's starting to piss down now. That's all right. Hopefully the recording's not too shabby. All right, so we've got the materials now. We've learned alchemy. and we'll chuck it on a bars. So we're basically simulating phase 1. So we got, the first thing is to make 1 potion. So make 1 potion first, and then if you've got the proper ratio, you'll have enough to learn the bubbling Mycobloom culture, which is a resourcefulness finishing reagent that might not be used, I'm not sure. So that's what we use the Writhing Sample for, so it's a free knowledge point, why not? We need 230 all up, I think, so every knowledge point counts. Okay, then next you want to craft a bunch of, 29 extra healing potions. So total craft 100, you need about 150 Algari healing potions. So I'll cut to when that's done. I'll just start the timer just so you roughly know how long it takes. In general, I'm pretty excited about Alchemy and what the end game can do. I reckon it's an awesome thing, and can't wait till we start talking about the end game. Okay, so we've made the potions, and the next step is to neutralize. So we start the neutralization. Well, basically, it's like you're making these core-way catalysts, which is a byproduct of reclaiming excess potions. So the whole point of crafting all this stuff is to level up your skill and then neutralize the concoction to get the core-way catalyst. And we need the core-way catalyst to experiment. That's like a requirement for experimentation. Okay, once all that's reclaimed, you want to go to the trainer and learn the Petal Powder. Petal Powder. What is this, the Powerpuff Girls channel or what? So we learned that. Where is it? Petal Powder. So you want to craft this until you skill 35. So you've got enough here to do a fair bit. But we're 29, so when we hit 35, we just start a step and just cancel it, because it does craft quite quickly. So 33, 34, and then one more should be 35. All right, now cancel that. All right, next step is the first wild experimentation. So you just salvage Mycobloom in this example. And like when you experiment, all we're trying to do is we're trying to find a new recipe called the Meticulous Experimentation. Oh, we've had a blowback there. There we go, we've learned it. It's on the second, that took 2 wild experimentations. And then now we've learned it. So you can see here that it gives 5 skills. So that's the first thing we want to learn. So it costs artisan acuity, so don't worry, because it's a good trade. 5 acuity for 5 knowledge or 5 skill points, pretty good trade. So this is going to simulate like day 1. So the quicker you can simulate this, the better. So you're gonna learn it, then it's going to come up here a day cooldown. So you'd log in 6 days in a row, and then on the beta realm we can like reset it just to simulate. So we go from like 35 to 65. So we do it 6 times. And also note that you can learn potions along the way, and you can first craft them however the hell you want, because obviously the RNG in this guide is not going to cover it, but they're there for added, like, skill points and knowledge. But it's really good because the way that it works, the way that the patron orders work is that it works off what recipes you got, not what you don't have. So that's a good change. Before it was the patron orders were complete random, and it was like, whoa, it's too much mucking around. But now they've made it better. So we got the last one here. So we're at 60 going to 65. It should go yellow. There we go. So you can pretty much experiment every day if you want, and just learn as many recipes as you want. It's totally up to you. It's free skill points, and eventually end game, when we can dabble into whatever we want, why not? We're about to make potions and stuff, high level, everything, using concentration, that is. Okay, so we're at 65, and you see we unlock Thaumaturgy. We only got 3 points, but obviously with the treasures, you're going to get a bunch of there, and then first craft, you're going to get knowledge pretty quickly. So at the start anyway. So we're just going to simulate learning it. So we've got enough. So the first points you want to put in is 55 points into the main one. Let's go. It's the biggest tree going. All right, we made it. So 55, because the last one is the most important one. Your first act of Thaumaturgy each day yields significant amount of extra transmutagen. Now, this transmutagen is that stuff we talked about in the theory, and what it is. So if we click on Thaumaturgy, we've put it as a favorite, because we might as well have it as a favorite, because we're going to use it every bloody day for the rest of the expansion and multiple alts. So okay, so just say we click on Mycobloom, and because it's the first one of the day, we can transmute Well, Thaumaturgy is a transmute of a sort, but it's just they separate it. But anyway, so if we click it, we're going to get a bunch of like materials, and we're going to get Gleaming Transmutagen. You see here? So we got 18 Gleaming Transmutagen. So you need 80 of that to make the Blasphemite. So on average, it's about 20 a day. So today's 18, tomorrow might be 22, and the next day might be 21. So once you got 55 points in here, that's when you start the daily Thaumaturgy transmute to get the gleaming, right? And then you can, so really, it's probably worth just starting that when you're 55. Before that, it's a bit of a waste, really, because you're not going to get the extra gleaming, right? So then the second step is the Gleaming Transmutagen free, which is 20 points. And we learn this one here. Put 20 points in there, and that one allows us to make the Gleaming Glory. So if we click back on the recipe list, we scroll down, Gleaming Glory, we favorite this one, because that's Gleaming Glory is the one that makes Blasphemite. I don't know why they called it Gleaming Glory, but Blasphemite's probably just easier because we can see it, but they've word shuffled it around for some reason, I don't know. But yeah, you can see here we got 18 out of 80, so we wait a couple days, 4 days exactly, and then we can make a Blasphemite. And the quicker we can get this pumped out, the quicker we can, like get amongst it, start making some gold, All right, so yeah, I'm going to cut back to phase 2 theory, and yeah, we'll continue on from there, so stay tuned. All right, sorry I had to re-edit because I forgot to add in the 20 points, but hopefully that practical and the theory together sort of make you understand how easy phase 1 is and the steps required to do it. Okay, so you can see on here we've ticked phase 1. We've set up alts to craft Blasphemite, and yeah, that took 75 points. So once that's done, we're going to move to phase 2, and phase 2 is well, I've written down here transmute daily, which means more Blasphemite. So Thaumaturgy is different to transmute, even though it's still a transmute. It's like a different type. But phase 2, we're going to add in the transmutation on top of the Thaumaturgy, and we're going to get more Blasphemites more frequently by doing so. And this build requires an additional 105 points. Okay, so the goal of phase 2 again is to transmute daily to double Blasphemite production. So we're doubling it. So each alt can make on average 1 Blasphemite every 2 days. So that's pretty cool. You remember phase 1 is log in, do the Thaumaturgy. Now phase 2, we're gonna log in, do that, and then do a transmutation at the same time. So we're doing 2 actions, and then that's it, log off. So we'll go through it. Well, yeah, okay, let's talk about the daily rituals, because it is going to be a ritual. The daily ritual, we're all going to be doing this. So this is, once you figure out what to do every day. Okay, so I've got this timeline here. So first one's log in at the start, and then I'll put an important notice here. Do not skip this, or you miss out on 20 plus gleaming, and meaning don't skip Thaumaturgy, and go straight for if you do the transmute first, you miss out. So if you do the Thaumaturgy first, you'll get 20 plus gleaming, and then use the transmutation to get another 20. So daily you can get 40. But if you go transmute first, there's a bit of a bug, and you only end up with half the amount. So remember the ritual: log in, Thaumaturgy first, and then transmute, not the other way around. Otherwise you're gimping yourself 50%. Okay, so every day you're going to get 40, and then you're going to craft Blasphemites every 2 days. And then whenever you've got enough to make a Blasphemite, I'm going to chuck mine in the guild bank, it's easier. Like I use the war bank for the reagent crafting, and then the completed items I chuck in the guild bank, so I separate the two. I find it easier with the guild bank and using both of them, then log out. Okay, so the step 1, you want to spend the next 15 points as soon as possible into these 3 trees here, right? So we got the 75 here from the phase 1. So the next 15 points, 5 in each, and it's very important to do this because 5 points in each allows you to discover the new recipes, the higher transmutes. So I'll read it out. It says you may now discover mercurial transmutations, which is the goal of phase 2, to do these transmutations, and you discover it by performing Thaumaturgy on Transmutagen. Whoa, what does that mean? It's a bit of a mouthful, but going through the guide, you'll sort of understand it. It is pretty easy. And I've got like a little flow chart there you can see later. Later being like the next slide. All right, so remember, a byproduct of thaumaturgy is the transmutagen. So here on the left, you look at the screen quickly. You've got thaumaturgy on the left, so that's the first thing you do, and you chuck in the cheapest reagents. And that's going to give you, depending on whatever reagent you put it in, remember through the family tree thing, it's either going to be the grey, the red, or the green. So, or these ones. It's easy just to explain it as the grey, red, and green until you get familiarized with the names. But really, it's just transmutagen is extra reagents. That's how you just think about it. As it's a byproduct, but it's extra reagents waiting to be turned back into something. So like, yeah. So like, think of it like a gel, and it can morph into one of 4 things. Okay, so discovering transmutes, you can now discover the better transmutations. So at default, you get 3 like normal ones, like the green ones, which don't give you any bonus gleaming. If you chuck 20 of that mercurial transmutagen into this thaumaturgy mechanic, so you're going to get gleaming, and then it's going to turn into these recipes. So like, but yet you sort of got to discover them. Like, it's a bit weird. That's why it's important to put the 15 points in, because if you put 5 points in each one, then every time you do a thaumaturgy on transmutagen here on the left, you got like a chance to discover these recipes. See on the right here, there's 8 recipes to discover, and they look like this. So they're the rare version. All right. So you have to discover these new ones over time, and you will learn it over time because it's quite passive. If you're doing this every day, or like every time you got enough transmutagen, you consume it, and then you're going to learn all these over time. So you don't really need to stress about it too much. Okay, so why do we need to learn those recipes? Why recipe after recipe? Well, it's a good question. The reason why we try and discover these new recipes is to get more gleaming transmutagen. So gleaming transmutagen is the stuff that we need 80 of to make the Blasphemites, remember? So because we're getting 80 every 4 days, if we do a transmutagen, if we transmute transmutagen, right, with this rare recipe, we get extra gleaming. I try and make it simple. Me trying to explain it seems a bit complicated, but really you just follow this chart here. So you start off with here, and to do these, it requires you to use that transmutagen. Like it's got it's a combination. Like one recipe might take 9, one might take 6, and one might take a both. So really, the easiest way to do it, and I'll show you in the phase 2 practical, because it's a bit hard to figure it out like on paper. But really, the gist of it is just to craft what you have available. Really, whatever you got the highest number of to craft, that's the one you're crafting. Okay, so yeah, well, it's probably better to save that for the practical. Just know that doing this gets more gleaming, and more gleaming means more Blasphemites. So we're effectively doubling our production of Blasphemites. We're going from every 4 days now to every 2 days doing this. All right. And then step 2, we want to spend the remaining, or another 60 points and fill out the remaining of these trees. These trees are way more important than this one here on the right. If you've already looked at Alchemy, and you probably think, oh, why aren't you putting any points in here? Because that's the cooldown. That gives you more charges. And you're right. But the value is in these transmutagens. So don't worry about this one. Yeah, we'll talk about that next. But you see here, you have a chance to receive additional transmutagen when performing your daily ritual, essentially. So more transmutagen means you don't have to buy mats anymore. You can just use that, So if you transmute every day, you get a bonus, and then you're going to get transmutagen in return. So eventually you won't need to buy any materials. You're just going to have the transmutagen, and then you just play around with that. You just muck around with that transmutagen gel and transform stuff. But we talk about that way more at the end in phase 3, because really we're building up to that eventuality of converting materials from this stuff. So it's really important to get the ball rolling on this, so you can get kind of like a snowball effect running. So the next 60 points go in here. Okay, so step 3 would we'll lastly spend the 30 points remaining in this tree to fully deck it out. So chuck 30 points in, I think it's called Transmutation. And but all this does is basically give you skill, extra skill, which doesn't really apply to the full build, and it gives you an extra 3 charges. So a total of 8. So you start off with 1 and then we'll go up to 5. So you get 1 out of 5. And then putting 30 points in this is just skill and an extra 3 charges. That's it. That's why we don't prioritize it first, because we don't, if we're just transmuting once a day, this thing recharges once a day. So you don't really need to hold additional charges. So because you're doing it every day, it's good if you go on holiday and you miss a couple of days, you can like catch up. So that's the way I see it. It's more like a catch up, but because we're going to be logging in every day, you don't really need to put it out first. So yeah, that's it. So yeah, well, that's the end of phase 2. So that the phase 2 build, we haven't even touched skill, because skill isn't really a factor until phase 3. So we're just running the common tools, running double ingenuity, because if you see here, this is a Thaumaturgy crafting details window. It's only got ingenuity. There's no multi-craft, there's no resourcefulness, nothing like that. It's just ingenuity. So the only stats that apply to Alchemy Transmutation Specialists is ingenuity. And so that's why you go double ingenuity. And we'll talk more about, it's more relevant for really the last phase of the build. Right now, it doesn't even apply. But yeah, good job. So now that we've done the theory for phase 2, we're going to go do it in practical session again. So just to reinforce the learning of what we just did, because it's probably like, whoa, too much, slow it down, bro. But the practical will ease you into it, and then we'll come back for phase 3. So we'll skip to that now. Alrighty, phase 2 practical now. So we're back on the beta, and hopefully it's a bit clearer. So we're at this point now, 75, and the first thing we want to do is chuck 5 points in each one of these. It really doesn't matter which one, because you need them all equally the same. And like if I hover over it again, just to make sure, the only reason we put 5 points into here is so we can learn the recipes. And if you click on the recipes and you scroll down to where it says unlearned, and you go all the way down here, you got here on the left hand side, you got transmutations. So you got mercurial, you got there's 8 of them here to discover. So the aim is to discover these, because these ones give bonus gleaming, right? And the only way to learn this, here says recipe unlearned, discovery thaumaturgy. So thaumaturgy is that one we talked about, our favorite daily, setup. So if we click it again, so let's say we transmute, right? And then we get, because we don't get the bonus daily gleaming, so we get 3 for every transmute. So it's inefficient getting 3 at a time, because, you got to do a lot of these to get 80, but you can spam it if you want. Just means the price of them is going to be pretty high, and the people that can make these cheaper, more efficiently, are going to win, I think. Okay, so you've done your daily thaumaturgy. The next one is your transmutation. So if we come down here on the left again, and we've got the green ones, so if we favorite these, or they're not really favorites, these ones are the common recipes, and you see how it requires transmutagen, like 6 of the red one, 6 of the green, and then this one's 6 of the green, 6 of the grey ones. It's all mix and it's the combos are mix and match. So right now we've only got the red stuff. So to get the green stuff, you got to transmute different materials. So if we just quickly buy 100 of a few items. So I've just bought some extra items to salvage, because at the start, because remember, like, we're going to have enough, by the time we hit this point, we're going to have enough transmutagen to like start it. For the video, I'm just going to make a bit more. So we're making 3, we'll get 20 of the red stuff. All right, so remember the red stuff is in the same family as Weaver Cloth, Bismuth, and Stormdust, and Mycobloom. Those 4 reagents are in a family. So you can see here, it might be a bit hard to see, but you notice if we chuck in Auburn, we're going to get a different family. So we'll thaumaturgy these Aubanids, and you watch, so we're getting a different family now. We're getting the mercurial, which gives Acarite, Gloom Chitin, Lure Drop. So this is the part, and you got the green family too. So eventually, like in the later stages, we can like sort of choose what we want to convert, like depending on the prices and stuff. I reckon we got enough there to start. All right, okay. So as you can see here on the transmutation side on the left, we've got a few more recipes. We've learnt one. We've learnt ominous call, volatile weaving. So ominous call, this one we learnt that one. So every time you find a recipe, just favorite it and then chuck it. Just click favorite. Don't really favorite the green ones because the green ones are shit. So we've found 2 just by Thaumaturgy alone. So then up the top here on your favorites list, you have a list of all the recipes. Eventually you'll get all 8 sitting at the top here. And then all you have to do each day is do the Thaumaturgy and then whatever's got the highest amount. So at the moment, Ominous Call, we can make 2 of them. So we're going to craft that, and that only requires 9. So you just hit that once. There we go. Now it's on a cooldown, but it should be right. By the time you do this, we'll be at like probably just sitting at 5 out of 5, and you just come in and do it every day. But notice this. So we got Acarite, Storm Dust, and see how we got Mercurial Transmuted. We got 21 of that, and then we got 21 of the Gleaming. So that's additional Gleaming. That's why we're doing it. So we log in. Thaumaturgy first for the craft daily bonus, and then do a transmutation on the rare one. Because if you do the green one, the green recipes, you're not going to get any bonus. Only the rare ones give bonus. That's very important. But eventually you're going to learn all of them, so don't stress too much. Just make sure, put them in your favorites so they're always there so you don't stuff up. But yeah, because we got Mercurial Transmutagen, you can salvage that. If you want, if you got heaps of this stuff, you can Thaumaturgy this and it'll go into, this family of mats. So that's pretty cool. I didn't expect to find a rare in there, actually. That came out of nowhere. So rares can occur as well in this process, which is pretty cool. I reckon at the higher end, when you get up to phase 3, you might see more rares dropping on a daily basis. And that's pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool. But just note, you can see that my skill is like rank 1. And if I hit the button, for example, it's going to give me rank 1 materials. You watch. Boom. All right. So here's the breakdown. So I've turned this Transmutagen into Blessing Blossom rank 1, Storm Charge Leather. Okay, so why is that relevant? Because in the later stages of the game, if we have a full build and we got maxed everything, you'll be able to convert it to rank 2 without using anything. So imagine we got a full build, and I click concentrate now to simulate that we're at 375, because that's the max skill you're going to get. So if we transmute, you watch, this time instead of getting rank 1, we're going to get rank 2. You see this? So we're converting this, and you can convert rank 1 materials or this transmutagen, because all the transmutagen is considered rank 1. So you at default, you'll be able to turn rank 1s into rank 2s, like indefinitely. It's kind of whack, man, how it works. But it's only worth it. It's only really worth it. Like, for example, if you buy a rank 1 reagent and then chuck it into here, you're only going to get half the amount, but at rank 2. So it's hard to tell if the price ratio, the difference is going to be that substantial, but who knows. But definitely from rank 1 to rank 3, that price difference is going to be substantial. And we're going to talk more about it in phase 3. So I think I went on a bit of a tangent there. But like the next thing you want to do after you put the 15 points in, I did go on a bit of a tangent there, but this topic's still complex. And yeah, I don't know if I'm doing a good job, but hopefully you're still with me. But like chuck in the rest of the points, so this is another 60 points. And the reason why we do this again is to increase the amount of transmutagen we get. That's literally all it says on the tooltips. The acts of Thaumaturgy on transmutagen now you get more. So if we click Thaumaturgy again, we use it on transmutagen, the grey stuff, we're going to get more. So it's just more byproduct. The more byproduct, the more reagents we're going to get. So it's a good thing. Okay, and then the last one is 20 points in transmutation, and all this does is give you extra skill and 3 more charges. So we're going to have a total of 8. So you can see here, if you click the reset button, you'll see we'll have 8 charges there. So it's good if you if you don't play for a week, you can come back and it's all there, so it's good. But yeah, let's go to the phase 3 and talk about endgame. That's where the most excitement is for me. Okay, so hopefully you're sticking with me, because this is going to be a bit out there if this is the first look at Alchemy Thaumaturgy, but basically we've done the most amount, 180 points in phase 1 and 2. Really, you don't need to go up to phase 3. Like 180 points is enough to pump out Blasphemites. But if you're like me and you want to you want to go to the extra mile and go all the way to the end, then stay with me for phase 3. And phase 3 is going to make you convert materials into rank 2 and 3s. So, and that's going to take another 50 points. So let's jump into the theory. Okay, so the goal of phase 3, what is it? You know, like I said, it's to convert Transmutagen into rank 2 materials. So you can see here, we've got an arrow that comes down. So use Thaumaturgy and chuck the Transmutagen in. And because you're at max rank, you essentially turn it into rank 2 materials. Because Transmutagen is considered rank 1, so same as a rank 1 reagent, Transmutagen is rank 1 as well. If you're not fully maxed and you're not a cool Tyran alliance or a goblin horde, you can't do it. You have to have the whole amount. You have to have everything maxed. That's why it's out of all the professions, alchemy is the only one that really benefits from racials at all. The rest is just concentration. But for this, it's definitely worth it. So it's the difference between rank 1 and rank 2 without just straight converting. And if you see here, you can convert the Transmutagen into rank 3 materials using your concentration. Because up until this point, we haven't touched concentration because it's just pure single craft log out, craft a Blasphemite log out. Like, we've had no use for concentration, but it only really applies in phase 3. And that's why you see the flow chart here, Transmutagen plus concentration equals rank 3. And yeah, but the last step really is to put 50 points into the alchemical mastery tree. And this basically just adds skill overall for every recipe in the alchemy tree. This is one skill, and that includes Thaumaturgy. And we need this extra 50 to get to the max. And we'll go into that. So total, you can't do this until you've literally got everything completed, max skill points, etc., etc. So, but how does it work, Goldston? How do educate me, man? Because I got no idea. But by the end of this, you'll be all over it like a beaver on a hunk of wood. All right. So this infographic here, we got rank 1, rank 2, rank 3, and on the left, you notice I put at the start 0 skill. So this white bar is skill, and then the sweet spot is in between rank 1 and rank 2. And that's 375 skill. So normally everyone's going to be chilling in rank 1, in the rank 1 zone, because they haven't leveled up this skill. But as soon as you hit this threshold, and this threshold is, so it says with the current recipe difficulty, reach 375 skill to guarantee quality 2. So once you hit 375, all your transmutations are rank 2. So no longer are you pumping out rank 1 materials. So rank 1, just take it off your list. You're never going to see rank 1 ever again, unless you run out of transmutagen and you got to use something. Then the only way you're going to see it is buying off the auction house. You won't see it in a completed craft. So the thing is, and the threshold for rank 3 is 750, so it's double. So the hard part is getting to 375 skill, and yeah, so once you get into 375 skill, you can fill the remaining bar with concentration to hit rank 3. So every day you can Thaumaturge for bonus gleaming and rank 3 materials, which is pretty cool. All right, so let's continue on. So we'll go a bit more in depth about how it works, and if you see here, you need max skill. So on here, I'm 102 skill because I got +2 from being a cool Tyran. If you're a goblin, a true goblin, you're on the horde side, you're going to have 5 skilled alchemy. So either one, you're going to hit that cap. And notice here, I got no tools. They're missing. So we're missing 40 skill from the rare tools, but that's okay. All right, so this is I've chucked in this recipe of transmuted, and that's considered rank 1. And you see here, if you see on the bottom here, we're in that rank 1 back bracket still. So we haven't really pushed to 375. You can see we are at 375. So currently we're 335, but we're missing the 40 skill from the tool. So if you add 40 to this, is 375. So you're literally right on the money, but you have to max everything. 230 points, you're not doing anything until you get here. So really, the first one to 375 skill will be pumping out rank 2s for days, man. That is if rank 1 and rank 2, the difference in prices is worth it. All right, so let's have another look at it a different way, I guess. So you're fully maxed out, which allows you to use your transmutagen or rank 1 materials that can be converted into either rank 2 or rank 3. So for example, here we got a Gloom Chitin rank 1 or a Mercurial Transmutagen, whatever. They're both the same. They're in the same family. So you can transmute that without concentration. It'll get you rank 2 Acrorite, Lure Drop, and Orbitin. And if you're familiar with these items already, these are pretty good items. They're not shit. Like Acrorite's pretty rare, or Lure Drop's relatively used a lot, and Orbinids as well. If you use your concentration, you're going to go from rank 1 Gloom Chitin to like rank 3 Acrorites, rank 3 Lure Drops, rank 3 Orbinids. Like just convert it, just literally milking your concentration. And at this point, concentration's king, man. So concentration, just so you know, regenerates at 1 every 5 minutes and 1,000 every 3.5 days, or 2,000 a week. And I estimate, based on my rough calculations, that once you hit that 375 and you're in that last bracket, it's going to cost about 530 concentration to get up to rank 3, which is a lot, which makes ingenuity king, you know, like, because nothing else applies. Because ingenuity, the most ingenuity you can get by my calculations is like 23% plus with everything, potions, everything. So you see here daily 530, that's my estimate. So weekly is 3,700 concentration, and we got a cap of 2,000 a week. So to do this every day, we're missing 1,700, which is kind of like 3 procs of ingenuity. So whenever ingenuity procs, we're going to get a refund. So if over 7 days we get 3 to 4 procs, then we can do this every day using concentration, which is awesome. They really need to increase the cap from 1,000 to 2,000, so we only have to log in once a week instead of twice. That would be ideal. And if you get procs in concentration, you're not going to hit any caps. You know what I mean? Like, it's like if you keep your concentration low and it procs, then you can like add up. So in conclusion of the theory, how many alchemists I'm going to have? Well, I plan to have 92 maximum and a minimum of 56. And ingenuity, because really it's the only thing that you can do with transmutation. And the value is the difference between the rank 1 materials and the rank 3s. So depending on the market prices, you can have a look at each family and figure out what's the cheapest thing to buy and will net me the most gold using concentration. So, you know, it's up to you. You figure it out at the end. That's the true end game. Are you figuring out the differences in prices? So thanks for watching the phase 3 theory, and we're going to shift over into the practical side now. And we're going to have a final talk about it and hear my thoughts on it all and how difficult I'm going to think going to be and all that stuff. So if you had enough already, close off, you learn everything you need to know and you're done. But see you later. But stay for the practical and we'll have a bit more of a chat, show you how to level up and all that stuff. So yeah, thank you. Alrighty. So we're on the phase 3 practical setup now, and basically all we're trying to do is max everything out and get to skill 100. So we're going to unlock alchemical mastery, and we want to chuck in 50 points here. Yeah. So that's 230 points total. All right. So that's all we need really. And I've got in here. I bought the tools. So I bought I'm just using the green hat and these tools here. But we'll chuck them on last. Okay, so we're going to simulate leveling up, because like if we're in phase 2, we're going to be learning these. We're going to be doing these daily transmutagens. So we'll do a thaumaturgy first, like in our daily login ritual. So thaumaturgy, and then once that's done, we'll click on one of these, and then the rare recipes, and then we'll craft one of them. All right, and notice we're getting levels with that. So we can literally, like, we're at like 67 now, 65, 67, whatever. But like to get up to 100, you can literally just transmute all the way up to like the high 90s, and then craft Blasphemites all the way up to 100. So really, you don't really need to worry about level, because you're going to get it naturally. All right, so I'm going to reset it again and keep pumping. So as every day goes on and you're doing the ritual, you're going to gain skill. So you're going to get it passively without even noticing it. So that's probably a better way to approach it. And then like the whole goal is to get to 100. And the fact that if you're not a Kultiran or a Goblin, you're pretty much screwed. You have to have the racial. If you don't have the racial, then you're stuck in the rank 1 bracket. Simple as that. And if you're stuck in the rank 1 bracket, you're never going to make rank 2 materials or rank 3. It's completely off the table. You have to have that racial. And Blizzard are clever to do that because, you know, like it's a money thing for them. Like they're going to, when people realize that they have to be a certain race to do this, you know, they're going to be upset. But like, not me telling you now, it's like, and it's probably a bit late to start leveling Kultirans on Remix unless you want to smash them out this from now until the launch. You know, it's up to you. But like if you don't, then you're going to be paying you'll be paying BattleNet balance to change your race. I mean, I know personally I'll have to do it because, you know, I'm going to have all these characters and it's going to feel pretty shit not being able to make rank 3s or like not being just be stuck in that rank 1 bracket forever. It would be shit. So I gotta sell a bit of gold to get some BattleNet balance and then transfer all my characters across. But yeah, see how it's green now. So all we have to do is craft a bunch of Blasphemites. So really, like, Blasphemites are going to take us all the way to 100. And then once we get to 100, nearly there, a couple more crafts. So I reckon you're going to hit 100 way before we get like all the knowledge points required to even do this. But for the sake of simulating it, we'll have a little play, eh? All right, so we're there now. So we got, you notice here, we chuck in the grey one, the Mercurial, and you see we're at 335 and we need 375 skill. So we're 40 short, and we're only short because of the tools. So even with the fully rank 5 tools, and I've got Ingenuity, Enchant, Ingenuity, Missive on there. So we're at 16% Ingenuity, and with the rare tools, it's another 4% plus. So that takes us up to 20% Ingenuity, and then you got like, I'm pretty sure there's a file that increases Ingenuity. I can't remember off the top of my head. I've got it written down somewhere, but I remember you can get like 22-23% Ingenuity, so it's such a high chance. But you see, if you see here, we use Concentrate. You only need 93 to get rank 2 materials, so we'll just click it. This is Thaumaturgy, by the way. So using a bit of concentration, we can get rank 2s, but they're not rank 3s. So really, you're only getting the price difference between rank 1 and 2, and you're getting half the amount. So we got 12 reagents there, and we spent 20 mercurial, but we got some transmutagen left. But really, this is going to be a lot better if these are rank 3. Because eventually you're going to have a shitload of these transmutagens sitting in your bag. And if it's all sitting there and it's all potential rank 3, and you can't really do it unless you got the full build and the racials, you know. Because with the amount of, if we just keep crafting here, so I'll do it until we get an Ingenuity breakthrough. And have a look at this. So that's one more craft. I'll just craft until we get an Ingenuity prop. Okay, there it is. See this? And this might be a little bit of a bug, but it seems pretty broken if this is actually how it works. Because here it says we need 90. It uses 93 concentration to get to rank 2 because we're so close. But when you're in that rank 3 bracket, I roughly calculate it's going to be like 530 odd concentration. It's a fair bit, like 2 days worth. Really. But you see here, if I highlight over this ingenious breakthrough, it says you have been refunded 47. So 47 is half the amount. And you see here, what's this? Refunding 50% of the concentration spent. So I remember it saying 100%. Perhaps we have to get the rare tools to get 100%, unless it's 50% all the time. Not sure. But it's given us 47 on that one, 47 on this one, 47 on that one. So it's given us 5 times 47. So that's like 250 concentration. Like I got more concentration back than I spent. Doesn't make any sense. So I've spent 93 and then it refunded like 250. So if that's right, then if you're using 500 and it procs, boom, you're back at 1,000. That's why I said they should, if this is correct, they should bump it up to 2,000. Then when it procs, we can like proc all the way back up to 2k. That would be sick, but I doubt it. I reckon it's a bug. But I've just noticed every time I do it, you know. So yeah, we need the tools, and then we can start pumping out rank 3s. That's the true end game of this build. And I know this video has gone for way too long, and I normally don't record on a Saturday, but I sort of had to because of the time factor. Yeah. And so, yeah, I hope you enjoy the video. You know, stay and follow me if you want to, because I'm on a journey to 100 million gold in the War Within. And on Tuesday, this Tuesday, I'm going to do a new reset on the spreadsheet. So we're going to start from 0 again. And then from the War Within, we're going to, because the gold we're going to make is going to start in the War Within. Because I've done some already, but it doesn't make sense to include that into the 100 million goal for the War Within. Because if I aim to make 100 million in each expansion, then it makes sense to reset it at the start of the expansion, right? But yeah, cheers for watching. I'm out.